Classic, and Liam Nolan is talking to Margaret Hogan and Mary Ruddy.
Let me start, should I say, with Marie Ruddy. You're the national stroke play champion. Can you remember very much, actually, what it was like winning it on the day?
Not really, Liam, but I will remember that I felt numb inside most of the day. But when I realised that I had actually achieved it, I felt fantastic. It was really marvellous feeling. It's hard to describe, but it was a marvellous feeling.
Now, you ladies most of you play off 3, don't you?
That's correct. When you win a national title, you go to 3. Normally, we're off 4 handicap, and then you go to 3. When you win a national title, you go back to 4 then the following year.
Margaret, what about the fact that it's a game in which strength doesn't count all that much? I mean, are the ladies as good as the men?
Oh, definitely, yes. We're well able to get up to the long ones, yes.
What about head-to-head competitions? I mean, have you been involved in many of those with men?
No, we haven't, no, funny enough.
Do you think it would be a good idea?
Against them, no. It'd be great, yes. Yeah. Be great.
Right, now, in an event like this, which is being televised, of course, the Talbot Classic, one of the things that strikes me about it is that instead of being over 18, it's over 9. Does that put extra pressures on you as players?
Definitely it does, yes. From the very start, if you lose the first, you're you haven't an awful lot of time to pick up, you know.
Well, now, the other thing that has come right across here is the fact that it's a terribly friendly game between the competitors and the spectators. But will you talk to each other once you step off that first tee?
Not very much, I'd say, no.
You lock yourself in concentration?
Yes.
I suppose the same with you, Marie?
Same, yes.
We're going to take a look at that concentration, also the skills, and I wish you both the very best of luck. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Liam.
So to the first tee, Margaret Hogan from Tullamore and Marie Ruddy from the Lucan Club in Dublin. First hole at the Roadstone Club, 37 metres. Marie Ruddy to play first. 37 metres, bunkers right in front of the green and to the right and left. So, important shot then for Marie Ruddy. Composing herself, and what a beauty she's played. Well, Margaret Hogan will have seen that, and it'll look perilously close from where she is, so she could have done without that, I'd say, to start. She's lofted hers and right at the pin, and she's almost played as well. 2 super shots there to start from Marie Ruddy and Margaret Hogan. And Margaret Hogan on the left as she walks towards the green. Very impressive record in the National Stroke Play Championship. She won it 3 years in a row, 77, 78 and 79. And she also won the Match Play Championship in 1980. Contributed a lot to the game of Pitch and Putt. Also founder member of the Clara Club. So, very impressive start to this Ladies Classic at the Roadstone Club. Now Margaret with putt to take the lead. Left hand lower than the right, putting stroke. Oh, just left it that fraction short. And Mary Ruddy does a little bit of gardening and knows she has this to go 1 up. Mary Ruddy makes no mistake. Good putt, and she goes 1 up as they go to the second. Well, she'd be very pleased with that confident start. And This time she has won the honour. Second green, second hole, 54 metres. Again, well protected short of the green. Bunker and then a mound right at the side of the green. Gathers her concentration, lofts it straight at the flag, and gets the bounce to bring it onto the green. Good shot. Margaret Hogan using the grip with the left hand lower than the right. And that looks a super shot. Well, Margaret Hogan, one down, really pulled out a grand shot there and has good chance of a dike. Well, Peg Smith with us watching the ladies. I'm sure the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland are very proud of the standard of play that the ladies have achieved in the last few years.
Oh, we are indeed. We're very, very proud of our ladies. As you can see, Fred, these ladies now are pitching a ball on equal par to any of the men, the top class men players, and they're shooting the scores to match it, you know.
It's interesting that there hasn't been a men v women competition in Pitch and Putt.
Well, we haven't got around to that yet, Fred. It hasn't been discussed.
Maybe the men are a bit nervous about it.
Possible.
So, on the second green, Mary Ruddy, one up. At 15 feet. Very firmly hit and beautifully sunk. That's a dike. And that puts the pressure on Margaret Hogan. One down, she won't want to go two down. Oh, very good effort, just slid away. There's very little she could have done. Mary Ruddy really in blistering form starting this Talbot Classic first round match. Well, Peg, the third hole.
Yes, Marie Ruddy now teeing up for the third shot. 2 up in this championship. Just having a little practice swing. You might notice, Fred, that Marie has a kind of a seated stance, and as she comes into her tee shot, she rises herself, you see? The timing is on a little short on that hole. Quite a good pitch.
Well, she's just down this side of the tee side of the little mound. Tricky little one for her to carry.
Yeah, tricky, all right.
Margaret Hogan. She really wants to get on the screen, try and get one back. And she's played it beauty.
Superb shot there from Margaret.
Well, now, 2 up. No time for Marie Ruddy to relax. She has to get this into the hole, I reckon, to save it, to hold that lead. Seemed to scoot away there to the left. Has a little look at Margaret Hogan's position. Says, well, I'll go for the putt. She held a raker on the previous hole, so why not here? So that's it. She concedes the putt, and Margaret Hogan has got one back, and after 3 holes then, Marie Ruddy, 1 up. And Margaret here, very involved in the game, very active in coaching, and she's on the Leinster coaching panel right now, anxious to get back into this match. Nice fluent stroke. And she's safely on the green. Settling down now, Margaret Hogan, after a really blistering start by Marie Ruddy. Now here's Marie. Interesting setup, and then watch, as Meg Smith was saying, how she stretches out for the stroke. And oh, you can't get closer than that and not go in the hole. Well, these two ladies are really putting it on for us, aren't they? Marie Ruddy, knowing that she's going to be given very little scope by Margaret Hogan, getting off to a flying start, going 2 up, but then Margaret Hogan coming back at her, and then Marie Ruddy produced that magnificent tee shot. Look at it, right on the flag, and I'm afraid Margaret Hogan knows that she's going to have to concede that one.
Well, she probably will, all right, Fred. It'd be normal practice to concede a short putt like that. But then, being 1 down in a match, some people you have to make decide whether it's the best thing to do or not.
I suppose let your opponent wait a minute or 2.
Exactly.
Anyway, she's got this for her deck. Ooh, she really charged it and very nearly sank it. And she concedes the hole, back to 2 down. And she didn't linger on that one. And so, Marie Ruddy has gone back to 2 up. Marie Ruddy, 2 up after 4. Well, the last one very nearly went into the hole from the tee. Can she improve on that? Oh, a nice easy swing. Well, just off the green. I think she was well aware that the green slopes away, as Peg Smith was saying, and didn't overdo it. Margaret Hogan. Full swing, and she's left it so close that she's going to get her 2 here.
Marie has only last year took her first major title, but she's a very experienced player, although she didn't prove to a point until last year.
And Marie Ruddy. How did she play this? Gave it a go, went a little past. Opens the door for Margaret Hogan. So Margaret Hogan, seeming just to anxious to collect her thoughts, get her concentration right, not rushing it. But once she's composed herself, doesn't waste time on the putts. Bang, into the hole. And she's pulled another one back.
She's a very good putter, actually, Fred. Very steady on the putts.
Some very good skills being shown there by the 2 ladies in that semi-final. We'll see more of that match after the 3 o'clock.
Right over the stick.
An excellent tee shot.
Now, Marie Ruddy. Oh, she's given it a bit much. Well, that was quite a way over the green. Just seemed to get it probably too firmly. And this requires a very delicate chip back. Seemed to force it out and judged it well. Didn't pop it up in the air and hope to hold the green. So she has that to save her par, but Margaret Hogan has this for her dike to get back to all square. Will it go in? Oops. So that was a chance to level the match, and Marie Ruddy has this to hold her lead. It's only about 4 feet, but it could be as long as a mile when you're facing it. And she holds it. Well done. She holds her lead, and Marie Ruddy is still 1 up on Margaret Hogan in this first round match in the Talbot Ladies Pitch and Putt Classic, going to the 7th hole, 53 meters. And a great deal of pressure on the players, of course. Margaret Hogan still 1 down. A very nice fluent swing and a very good result. Right on the green. And Marie Ruddy having to fight very hard to hold her lead. Can she get inside that shot of Margaret Hogan's? Gave it a little too much the last time, and she's disappointed with it. Didn't quite get it. No, she didn't get that towards the green. She wanted to pop it up in the air. And now, is this the chance for Margaret Hogan to level the match? Marie Ruddy in some difficulty. This is the 7th hole. Well, that'll be a 4 at least, and she's conceded, and the match is level. Margaret Hogan has come back. Good tee shot, and Marie Ruddy's problems really all starting there from the tee. And now to this long hole, this 8th hole at the Roadstone Club, 70 meters, and that's the extent, the longest hole one is permitted in pitch and putt, isn't that so?
That's right, Fred, and most courses have a shot of this nature within that distance, and the ladies should be quite well able to make the green.
The fact that this particular hole is uphill just makes it that little bit more difficult.
Yes. I think what happens then, you see, are trying to force the shot, and there's where you have the problems.
We shall see. Margaret Hogan delighted to have fought back from 2 down after 2 holes to all square. on the tee. 70 meters uphill. Bunkers in the front, and she's played a super one.
An excellent shot, really excellent.
On the flag all the way. Perfectly judged. Time for concentration from Marie Ruddy. That's gone again, out to the right, and the tension really taking its toll, one feels, on Mari. Suddenly, having started off so magnificently, just seems to have let it slip a little bit, showing in those rather erratic shots from the tee.
Yes, indeed, Fred. It's unfortunate, really, because she's a very, very good pitcher. But everybody can run into these little spells of sockets, as we call them. And as I said before, it's all the timing, and you're trying to come up off the ball. You're really catching the ball with the toe of the club rather than the centre.
Time for her, perhaps, just to slow down a little bit. And
the whole secret, slow down the swing.
her target. She wants to pop it up and leave it right up against the stick. And the head came up there. Oh, what a good recovery. Good effort. So Marie Ruddy there in 3. And I think she will ask Margaret Hogan to have a putt.
Quite a long, difficult putt, actually, this one, Fred, so it would be only natural that you'd ask her to have one shot anyway.
Well, it was a good effort, safe par, and that's a win for Margaret Hogan. So from being 2 down at one stage, she now goes to the 9th hole, 1 up. But for Margaret Hogan, who's come back from 2 down to stand on this final tee at 1 up, I'd say not a lot to make her nervous. Tremendous fight back. The girl from Tullamore. And that's a good safe shot.
Very safe.
Down, pin high. And now Marie Ruddy from the Lucan Club, current national stroke play champion. 1 down, and she needs a good one here to bring this match to playoff. Well, it's on its way, and it hasn't found the green. And I think it's gone over the green just a little bit further than Margaret Hogan's shot. And Margaret Hogan striding confidently down. Well, it was really too much for Marie Ruddy, I think, with her touch on the tee gone. And it really has got to Marie, I think. You know, when you're 2 up and you suddenly see that lead evaporating, it really does put a lot of pressure on you.
I think the worst thing that happens, Fred, really is that your concentration goes, and that causes more problems than anything else. Marie is inclined to be, you know, she finds it difficult to concentrate, where Margaret is the type of player who can switch off on any occasion.
Well, she has conceded, and not surprisingly, congratulates Margaret Hogan, who came back from 2 down to win there rather comfortably, winning 2 up in the final analysis, as Marie Ruddy found the going just getting a little too tough for her. So congratulations to Margaret Hogan, who now moves into the 2nd round. And in fact, she will now meet in the final of the year for the past 5 years. First hole, 37 meters. What a start. Beautiful shot. Now, Mildred Murray, her Dublin opponent. Nice, smooth swing. And she too makes the green. 2 good shots too. That'll settle them down. No nerves about that. Well, it's hardly surprising, I think, that Ganan is such an accomplished player, because she was reared beside the course at St. Anne's in Shanakeel in Cork. She first came to prominence in 1977, and she won the Girls' Juvenile Championship of Ireland. But at the moment, she's the current Ladies' National Match Play Championship, and she's won 2 National Stroke Play Championships in 1980 and 1981. So no doubt that, no wonder that she's one of the most prominent sports personalities in Munster with a record like that. But she'll be waiting for Mildred Murray to remove the flag, and it's Anne who's away, and Ganan puts first. Good length again, but left to the flag, or left to the hole and wide. Oh, a good effort from Mildred. And she concedes the putt to Anne, so it's all square, level pegging going to the 2nd hole. Well, the 2nd hole, 54 meters. And retains the honor. Bunker short of the green and a grass mound, lofting it high and short. In between the bunker and the grass mound, there it is, just left of the picture. And a chance then for Mildred. Whoops, did that go a bit far? Yes, just over the back left of the green. Down there in the corner of our picture. So both players not finding the green, but of the two, perhaps Mildred Murray in slightly the better position. Doesn't seem to worry Anne at all. Well, PRO for the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland, Peg Smith, with me. I'm sure that a young player of the calibre of Anne Ganan is the sort of player that really is a great advertisement for the game and for the union.
She is indeed, Fred. She's very cool and collect, and she's a lovely person, really. And even with all her skills and abilities, she's not a bit affected by it. And that's a wonderful thing to see in top-class players, you know.
But here she is with difficult little chip. Nice, fluent swing, and she's got it right bit very quickly. So she has a putt a little further than will be too comfortable. Mildred Murray plays off 4 handicap. the Shandon Club in Phibsborough. She too has left it a little bit shorter than she'd have liked.
So much stop, you see, on some of these chip shots that these players use. The ball pulls up that bit quicker. A little too quickly this time, I think.
Yes, well, of course, the course is also very soft after the rain.
Excellent.
Had a look at the hole before it went in. Tried side door, back door, eventually went in, but it's in, and it's 3, and Mildred would be happy to see hers go in the same way.
Indeed.
Went in straight. Well, we look like having a real cliffhanger here between these two. So, quite a good crowd enjoying what has been very interesting Ladies Classic here at the Roadstone Club. And this particular match with Anne Ganan on the tee and Mildred Murray. So close. That's the target. Nice, gentle, fluent swing, and she's found the green. Beautiful shot. Set up right, head steady, off she goes, and where'll it finish? There's so little between them, Peg. It's remarkable, isn't it?
What can one say when you see two ladies pitching like that?
Well, Mildred is not just a pitch and putt player, because she's also been involved in tennis and basketball, and she's tried her hand too at golf, but it's at pitch and putt that she has been most prominent. She's been on the Dublin inter-county team since 1973, and I think in the holes we've seen her play so far, we have ample evidence of how and why she's been on that Dublin side and winning 6 medals in those years. There's her putt. Oops. I think she might have thought there was a little drop there, and in fact didn't fall.
Didn't fall, that's right.
So, Anne Ganan, chance to go, 1 up at the 3rd hole. And hers came away as well. So it's still level pegging between Mildred Murray and Anne Ganan after 3 holes of this Talbot Ladies Pitch and Putt Classic. The 4th hole at the Roadstone Club, 59 metres from an elevated tee. Difficult hole to hold. Anne Ganan from the St. Anne's Club, level with Mildred Murray. Nah, did that get a bit away from her? I think it did. And she won't be too happy with that. An opportunity for Mildred Murray. Nice full practice swing, but gets through at it beautifully the second time. And has she given it enough? Well, there it is out to the right. Pulled it just a little bit. So these two who've been really matching each other shot for shot so far, giving the spectators plenty to excite them in this very, very close semi-final. The winner to go through to meet Margaret Hogan, who won the first semi-final of this Ladies Classic against Marie Ruddy, 2 up. And what an interesting and exciting first semi-final we had. The second one between Anne Ganan here on the left and Mildred Murray on the right, equally enthralling. Very, very close. And as we watch them on the fourth hole, it still is wide open. Dublin girl, Mildred Murray. Wasting no time, and I thought that was going in. I really did. Now these difficult bunker shots. The bunker's very hard after the rain and didn't waste any time, but difficult for her to get out. And it could have, if she hadn't been careful, it could have flown out and gone right over the green, so she did well. And Ganan then with the pressure on her. A charming girl she is, doesn't seem to worry too much. Smiles in adversity. Don't be surprised if this goes in. Now, just got it a little too much. Concedes the hole. Goes one down. Going to the fifth. Mildred Murray, one up. Well, now this fifth hole, 49 meters, will also cause some problems coming downhill, the green sloping away, and there's a big bunker in front of the green which they have to carry and then try and hold the green. Difficult indeed.
Very difficult, this shot. This is a very difficult shot, Fred, but it shouldn't cause too much problems for these two ladies. They're pitching very accurately.
Mildred Murray from the Phibsborough Club in Shandon. One up. And that really was a socket way, way off. So easy to do. And it'll be in Anne Ganan's mind too, I can tell you. She wasn't worried by it. That looks good. And she's on the back there. Just gave it a little too much. Difficult to hold. She was determined to get over the bunker at the front. I think they were exchanging some sympathies there. Can happen to anyone, those sockets.
And smiling away. It's nice to see it.
Well, when one has a shot like that, I suppose the last thing one wants to do is smile, but fair dues to Mildred Murray. And a recovery shot here, very important. Played that well. Oh, yes. A bit unlucky to have gone across the green, but it really was a very nicely played chip from a difficult position. And Ganan waits to return her putter. So Anne at the back of the green, Mildred having played two to putt first. Just off the putting surface, I think. This for her three. Oh, charged it a bit. And because of the very difficult conditions and the ground so soft, the players allowed to clean the ball.
Yes, it was plugged.
So a chance for Anne to level it. That was a very brave chip.
An excellent shot from a position like that, it really was, Fred.
And Mildred concedes the hole, and we're back to all square. Ganan has contributed a great deal to the administration of the game in Munster. Treasurer of the St Anne's Juvenile Committee for 2 years and currently a member of the St Anne's Ladies Committee, and that is tremendous attitude for a player to be prepared to give so much back into the club. from an administrative point of view. Here she is then, all square, with Mildred Murray. This is the 6th hole, just 37 metres. That's a good shot. Crowd closing in, and that was a good shot too. Just a little bit to the right, off the green. But both players safely away from the hazards. And we're on the 6th hole, running out of holes, and something's got to give, as they say. It's level pegging so far. Ganan asked to mark her ball to give Mildred clear line into the hole. Well, here's this little chip shot. Oh, she went away on her a little bit. She wanted it to bite.
It's a terrible fall across that green, Fred.
Yes,
you can see it sloping down. That Mildred really would have wanted to have played that chip way up behind the hole for the fall.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what line Anne takes here on the putt. How much borrow will she allow? Having seen that one curl down, I think there's probably a little pull on it as well.
Yes, there was.
Yes, there
See
she
what I mean?
goes. Good putt though.
Very good putt.
And Mildred concedes the next one, so she's got to sink this herself to stay level. Oh, the tension is beginning to mount. No chance for a mistake from here on in. Oh, she got it in. Good girl. I think she could allow herself a little smile there. Got in the side door. But it's in. And they go to hole number 7. Again, downhill. And Peg, again, the only place to be is on the green, isn't
The
it?
only place to be is on the green. Very true, Fred.
Grass mound in front of the green, a grass mound at the back, and bunker on the left.
Actually, that grass mound to the front of the green is far more dangerous than the bunker, although some people don't like a sand shot. But if you catch that mound and you're coming down, you could end up anywhere.
And Ganan on the tee, trying to avoid that mound. And she's done it, but hasn't got on the green. Just got over it, actually. So Mildred Murray. All square at the 7th hole. And that's a good shot from Mildred. Well, they certainly are not presenting the spectators with any problems of identity with those outfits. And Ganan in the green and Mildred in the pink outfit. And remember, these two playing for a place in the Pitch and Putt final against Margaret Hogan. Already Margaret into the final, having beaten Marie Ruddy. These two level after 6. And that's a fine shot from Ganan. Assures her of her 3. It's conceded, and Mildred then will go for this to go 1 up. I don't know how close she is to that little ridge in the rough, whether she'll be able to come in to the ball comfortably. Seems to be okay, but allowed a little too much. And it's another half, and we're still level after 7. So the 8th hole, the longest on the course, 70 metres. And it's interesting that in pitch and putt there is a limit to the total yardage or meterage in a course. It may not exceed 700 metres total. And any individual hole cannot be longer than 70 metres. And of course players are only allowed to use 2 clubs, one of which must be a putter. The other club, which is used for the pitch or the tee shot, can be any club you like, but obviously it's much more valuable to have a lofted club. So Ganan then on the 8th tee. Seemed to get a good hold of that. And there it is. Pin high, just off the green. Good shot. Mildred Murray matching Ganan shot for shot. Seemed happy with that, but it's gone over to her left, our right as we look at it, and she's faced with a tricky little one into the screen in the light rough. Seemed to be saying there, not too sure what I did wrong there, but whatever, I've got a problem. Just as we were following the players there, one of the great personalities of the Irish Pitch and Putt, International Pitch and Putt, the Honorary Secretary of the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland, Joe Leahy, among the spectators at this Talbot Ladies Pitch and Putt Classic. And what a good crowd have turned up for this event at the Roadstone Club. What good weather they've had for a change. Mildred Murray, second shot, needs to put it close, and she's played a beauty. Well, in fact, Ganan didn't, as you see, get over that bunker. She did well to get out, but she's left herself a difficult putt.
She has indeed, Fred.
Well, now with just 1 hole to play, one I'm sure didn't want to see a tee shot going into a bunker like that, and Anne will be disappointed. She's left herself a lot to do, and here's where courage really counts. She's got to get it up, she's got to get it in. Oh yes, super putt.
No problem to Anne. She's marvellous, really.
Well, now I'd say Mildred, it is half the length, but she'll be just a little worried about it.
Pressure's on Mildred now.
No bother to her. And so, 1 hole to play. Ganan and Mildred Murray, who've really put on a super match, are level. All square, going to the 9th. 61 metres. Bunkers all round the 9th. What a formidable target that is. And with the knowledge that your opponent is only too capable of pouncing on any mistake you make, pressure on both of them. So who's going to be the first to crack? Ganan, nominated for the Munster Youth Sports Awards from 1980 and 1981. And she wants this on that green. And where is it finished? Just off the green, between those 2 bunkers on the right. Not a bad shot. Mildred Murray. He's played and looks off to her right. So it's all going to hinge, could hinge on the chips. Really has been a fascinating match so far.
Very good match. It's really great. I'd say that both of these ladies now coming down the fairway are just trying to sum up what way they play the next shot, because they're vital shots to both of them. But they're not very difficult shots. They don't seem to have very bad lies.
Well, after that magnificent putt on the 8th, which really did save Anne Ganan, I'm sure she'll be seeing the hole as being as big as a bucket, and
oh yes,
they'll probably be going for
They're
it.
both very good attacking players, you see, and they go for everything.
Well, there's no hanging around. They just have a look at the flag, and here's Mildred Murray. Oh, great shot.
Take a 2 to beat it.
And that means that Anne's got to sink hers to go into the final. Anne Ganan from Cork. Ah, she's done it!
That
Anne
was
Ganan
fantastic.
is in the final. Mildred Murray can hardly believe it, but it was as big as a bucket for Anne Ganan, and how well she can afford to smile. She's in the final of the Talbot Ladies Pitch and Putt Classic.
Short of it, it's between Margaret Hogan, representing Tullamore in a way you represent, and Anne Ganan representing Cork. Now, what about the fact that we have again a big gallery here today? Does that bother you in any way, Margaret?
No, not really. No, I've been used to it in all the All-Ireland, so.
And you, of course, you have met Anne before. You met her
last year in the match play, yeah.
And who came out on top on that one?
Won it.
Now, when it comes to playing another match, playing another final, is the memory of last year there, or do you put it out of your mind altogether?
Well, you try to anyway, yeah.
Because when you started off in your first match in the Classic, you didn't do too well, and then you came back marvellously, didn't you?
Yeah, well, yes, I did. After being 2 down, like, after 2, I came back pretty well, okay.
Right, so no nerves for you, anyway.
Not really, no, when I got started.
Now, Anne, you look as if you don't have a nerve in the whole of your body.
Yes, I do. I'm a little nervous about people being around, you know.
And what way do the nerves come out? Is it sort of tensing up when it comes to making a stroke?
No, just when you're standing on the tee box, you kind of feel wobbly starting off. And you move on 1 or 2 holes, you feel a lot better about it then, you know.
Now, do you think, before you go out and play this final, do you think the fact that the whole business has been on television, that it's going to do the game a lot of good in Ireland, around the country?
I'd say it'll do the game a lot of good. I'd say it'll encourage a lot of people to take up the sport that haven't seen it already. And it deserves to be televised, really, because there are a lot of members all over Ireland, and you know, I suppose it's about time they've seen something on TV for it, you know.
And you hope that this will draw more to it?
I do, yes.
Well, I must say, not only are you 2 attractive ladies, but in fact you're also very friendly people, and that's the thing that has characterised, I think, this Classic event, the friendliness and the skill. That's what we're waiting to see once again, and I wish you both the very best of luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
And so the stage is set at this very fine Roadstone Centre in Bellegarde in County Dublin, with the, as you see, children swinging in the background, the national flag, the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland flag, and the Roadstone flag there in the background as this Talbot Women's Pitch and Putt Classic final begins. Margaret Hogan on the first tee. And not as good a start perhaps as she would have liked, but it's safely there. Anne Ganan from Cork, the St. Anne's Club. One of the most promising young players in the country. And again, off to the right. And both players, I think it's fair to say, tentative at the start. And a great deal of tension and a little bit of nerves for both of them. Both young players, very promising. But apart from the fact that there's a very large crowd here, they're aware that the television cameras, no matter how discreet they may be, are close by, and that in itself adds a certain amount of pressure for the finalists. Well, it certainly didn't worry Anne Ganan in her semi-final match. You'll remember she chipped into the 9th hole to win it, and here's another chip just off the first. Is she going to do it again? No, didn't give it quite enough run. And she'll have to mark that for Margaret Hogan, for handicap player from Tullamore. Great effort. Margaret's gone. 1 up. And that's an encouraging start, chipping into the hole like that. Well, we've had a spectacular start to this final. And the next hole, 54 meters. Not a great deal of trouble at the front of the green. There's a big bunker there, but it's well short. Shouldn't be much problems for Margaret Hogan. 1 up. That's her target. And she's hit. And it's right and short. There you are. Now, from behind the tee, we'll see Anne Ganan. She wants to get it up over that bunker. Hit it well. And what a fine shot.
Fabulous tee shot. These girls won't let much away with one another.
No, indeed.
It'll be neck and neck.
Peg Smith, you have seen, I'm sure, many fine shots from young Anne Ganan, but none better than that, I suspect.
And both of those girls are superb players. Last year, actually, they compete against each other in the national match play final, and it had to be seen to be believed. The type of pitch and putt that was played, marvelous.
Well, this particular final has started off quite spectacularly with Margaret Hogan winning with her 2, and a fair chance that Anne Ganan is going to get her 2 at this hole. Whether Margaret can repeat the exercise by chipping in here again or not, we don't know. She's
Very
done
close.
it very close.
Oh,
It's in. It seemed to hang on that lip.
aren't we lucky we're in here, Fred? We're not trying to compete with that.
And Ganan then with this.
Oh, that's a
Saves
marvellous putt.
Two
Under such
two
pressure.
twos. Tremendous effort. Margaret Hogan remains 1 up, going to the 3rd. 50 meters. And if she keeps going like this, Margaret Hogan needs only bring 1 club with her. She certainly doesn't require the putter. Well, now those 2 spectators will want to get out of the way because causing some problems for the stewards and for the finalists. Margaret Hogan. Oh, what about that? Well, if she waits a little longer, it'll surely drop in. And Ganan to follow that. Oh, it's another beauty. Well, Margaret Hogan on the right and Anne Ganan in this final to the Talbot Ladies Pitch and Putt Classic are really producing the fireworks. Margaret Hogan, of course, an impressive winner of the National Stroke Play Championship 3 years in a row, 1977, 78 and 79. And then she won the match play title in 1980. Meanwhile, Anne Ganan has been the up-and-coming star of monster sport. And not surprisingly, she's conceded Margaret her putt. So she once more has to sink this one for her 2 and that just to halve the hole. Oops, slips away, and she slips back to 2 down. So to the 4th tee, and as one looks back over the holes played in this women's final, Margaret Hogan has gone 2-2-2, and Ganan 3-2-3, and they've got company. I don't see why he can't enjoy it the same as everyone else, because it really has been something for everybody. Margaret Hogan then. She's on her game, is Margaret. Level 2s for 3 holes, and Anne Ganan is having difficulty in keeping in touch. 2 down. And that a little bit to the right. Good shot. But certainly Margaret Hogan has really come good. Peg, I'm not too sure that she has played as well as this for a long time. She's really in brilliant form.
Oh, she's in great form today, all right. And it's marvellous to watch the players, ladies or gents, when they're playing that well. Her tee shot there was superb.
Well, I remember in her first round match against Marie Ruddy, she caught a tartar really, because Marie started very well and went 2 up, but she showed tremendous character in coming back to eventually win 2 up, and in that match she was in very good form, but here she's really come alight.
Excellent, she's excellent form now today at this final, all right. And could hold out this putt, you see.
And
she's
that would
really
be 4 twos on the trot.
She's marvellous on the greens.
And Ganan then, knowing that, wants to get this into the hole. Oh, very brave effort.
Had she taken the flag out that time now, that would have holed out, because it struck the flag.
Might well have done indeed, yes. It seemed to almost go into the hole and just bounce out. Margaret Hogan's putt. And it's in. 4 twos on the trot, and she's gone to 3 up. This is really some performance. And one must have a certain sympathy for anybody playing against such a tremendous player as Margaret Hogan in such form as this. And Ganan there on the left must be just wondering what she's got into, and how do you put a stop to a gallop like that?
Well, it'll be very difficult for Anne now, Fred, with only 9 holes to play in this match, you know, to come back from 3 down.
Right. And we're on the 5th hole, which is 49 meters. And here goes Margaret Hogan. And again, that's very safe. And Ganan. Nice, comfortable swing. And she's got a certain amount of problems not finding the green. And she must now be really wondering how she can interrupt the flow of Margaret Hogan. But Anne Ganan is not one to give up easily, and we remember in that semi-final of hers against Mildred Murray, she seemed to be in a spot of trouble on the 9th hole, and she chipped right into the hole to win at the last hole and get her place in the final. So here she is, just off the green. And don't be surprised if, having just lipped the hole at the last hole with the chip, this one goes in. Well, again, the distance was so right, wasn't it?
Oh, a very good shot, but unfortunately these things are not dropping for Anne today.
I don't know if anyone has told Margaret Hogan that the par is 3, not 2. This for her 5th 2 in succession, and she's done it.
Well done.
And she's gone to 4 up, and she's really giving a fantastic exhibition, is Margaret Hogan from Tullamore. So to the 6th hole, and Margaret Hogan is Dormy 4. A half at this hole, and she has won the Talbot Women's Pitch and Putt Classic for 1983. 37 meters. And there's really nothing anyone could do, no matter what level, against a player who's produced 5 consecutive birdies. And if you're playing pitch and putt as these are, you can say 5 consecutive takes. Margaret Hogan. This time she's missed the green, but obviously the form she's in, she'll just chip into the hole.
She's not in any great danger there anyway, Fred. You know, she's hasn't got a really very bad lie, so.
No danger indeed. And Ganan. Nice shot safely on the green. And she smiles bravely in the face of such a run of birdies, dikes, that she's almost been overwhelmed. But if she can get a 2 here, and maybe Margaret slips up, this match could go a little further. So Margaret Hogan. This then, if this goes in, she wins the Classic.
God.
Oh. Well, that was for her 6th consecutive 2, and it was as close as that. And that still might be enough for her to win, because Margaret Hogan is down in 3, and Ganan must hold this to take the Classic final to another hole. Good effort, but it misses, and so Anne Ganan has lost her chance. Margaret Hogan is the winner. I'm not too sure that she realizes it yet, but certainly congratulations to Margaret Hogan as they go on to the next tee. But she's 4 up, but there's only 3 holes to play, 7, 8 and 9, and she is the champion. A tremendous victory, and it's been all resolved. I don't think she quite realized it herself. A tremendous effort, but what a magnificent final.
Oh,
Liz,
fabulous.
I'm sure nothing has been seen like that before in a ladies' final.
No, not to have those consecutive 2s like that, never. Although those 2 girls played before, as I said, in the match play last year, and one of them was 22 under, the other was 21 under for 36 holes. So you can imagine the standard of play.
Indeed. Well, we really have seen something magnificent in this final. Well done to Margaret Hogan. And so the Talbot Classic for 1983 has produced a magnificent final and a worthy winner in Margaret Hogan, and a worthy runner-up in Anne Ganan.
That was fantastic.
Save. And he's gone into the bunker. Quite a large gallery then on this the early stages of the Talbot Classic, Joe Fitzgerald. Cuts it beautifully. Oh, that's a fine shot. And so, Sean Breen has 2 putts to go into the second round of the Talbot Classic. He's 1 up, just off the back of the green. That's very safe. The putt's conceded by Joe Fitzgerald, and so Sean Breen from Sea Point in Drogheda is the first winner in the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic, and he goes through to the second round.
And we'll be seeing the second quarter final at 3:15, and that's between Gus Carroll.
On to the second tee, Gus Carolan, level with Jack McCormack. And look at that reverse grip, as it were, the left hand lower, as hurley holders or hurling players use it. Has he pulled it back onto the green? Just short. Got over the bunker, but short of the green. There it is to the right of our picture. Now Jack McCormack on the tee. Lofts it high. And he's just gone over the back of the green. There it is. But he held up short of the bunker at the back. Oops. And he's fluffed that, as anyone who's played any golf or any pitch and putt, I'm sure, will be only too well aware how easy it is to do something like that. And Gus disappointed. Now can he make amends? "33 years of age. Very close, but it'll be a 4, and he ruefully shakes his head, realizes he's opened the door now for Jack McCormack on the second hole at Roadstone. McCormack has to just put this close to the hole for a win. Oops, seemed to hold up a little bit. He'll be asked to putt that for his win. He concedes the putt for Gus Carolan, and so he has this to go 1 up. Well, it's a real character builder, isn't it? So easy looking and well judged. So Jack McCormack 1 up after 2 against Gus Carolan in this first round match in the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic. And Jack McCormack, 50 meters to carry, and he's gone too far. Maybe the adrenaline pumping a little bit. He's in the bunker there at the back of the green. And Gus Carolan, that usual grip with the left hand lower on the right. He flicks it high. And he's played a good one, just spinning back onto the putting surface. And he has a chance of his dike. Jack McCormack. And now here's a bunker shot to test him. He leads. He's 1 up. Oops. He's away, and he really did have to try and get that up in the air, but I'm sure it's very difficult, Peg, with the bunkers so hard from the rain that has fallen the last week or so. It's hard to get really in under the ball and just pop it up.
A very, very difficult shot, Fred. As you know, from a bunker shot, you have to be able to take plenty of sand, and that was practically impossible for Jack.
So, Jack McCormack, 1 up at the third and in some trouble. And that wasn't anywhere like near enough. And so Gus Carolan has a chance to level the match. He has 2 putts from there. And it just shows you how quickly fortunes can change in pitch and putt. Slightest error and your opponent is in. Very good, safe putt. Gus Carolan then has his putt conceded, and the match is all square going to the 4th. And Gus Carolan, who has squared the match against Jack McCormack with the honour. It's high, and he wants to hold the green. And there it is, just left of our screen. Not a bad shot. Gives him a chance. Jack McCormack. In some trouble at the last hole. He's given that plenty of height, and it looks good. And it is good, just on the putting surface there. Good shot from Jack McCormack. And what a good shot. So it's a safe par. Applause from the gallery. Jack McCormack. Oops, charged it a bit. Concedes Carolan's putt and has to sink this one to stay level. Well, it's been a feature of pitch and putt we've seen in this Talbot Classic so far, that players don't hang about at the putts, and they certainly go for them. Look at that, firmly into the back of the hole. No problems, no pressures, and they remain level. Going to hole 5, 49 meters. And you see the gallery moving down there, and there was a good shot of that bunker there, just short of the green, which they really have to get this ball high and pitch it over it. Hence, pitch and putt. There's the pitch. Gus Carolan. And is on target, but just a little short. Jack McCormack. Closed stance. Comes round it, and great shot, that one. Well applauded. And Jack McCormack has a chance of a dike. And that'll put him in front. After 5 holes of this first round match in the Talbot Classic. Well, there's so little between players at this level, Peg, it's quite fascinating to watch them, because really, if one even thinks of a mistake, the other's in like a flash.
Very, very true, Fred. The capabilities of these players is unbelievable.
It's interesting that from just off the green like that, they all seem to choose the chip shot rather than to force it out with a putter.
Oh, yes. Most players use the chipper. Very, very few players would use a putter for a shot like that. That's a difficult shot now from that distance.
Played well, judged well too, wasn't it?
Very well.
And this is why pitch and putt is so important for young players particularly, who might have an interest in playing golf. If they can do well at pitch and putt, they can learn so much around the greens and save so many shots at the longer game.
That's very true, Fred, very true.
Now, we talked about the brave putting of these players. I don't think he's going to leave this one short, whatever else he does.
I wouldn't imagine so. It's a vital putt.
Oh, he went for it, okay. Good putt. And they'll remain level after 5. Bunkers all round the green. High and lofted and beautifully judged. Pressure on Jack McCormack, his opponent, with a chance of a dike. All teed high, fluent stroke. That's a good one too. Look at that. Jack McCormack to putt first. No more than 6 feet from the pin. It was such a good putt, wasn't it? Just slipped the hole. So Gus Carlin has this putt to go 1 up. Just about 5 feet peg. And
Approximately 5 feet, that's right, Fred. A rather difficult one. He has a fall to the left on the screen, and he'll have to hit it fairly firm to make sure it holds its line. And he did.
He's done it. He's done a magnificent putt there. And Gus Carlin goes 1 up, coming to the 7th against Jack McCormack. They've got to get it right up, and with the screen sloping away from them somewhat, difficult to hold. There's Gus Carlin's tee shot. And no problem to him. Judged to a nicety. Jack McCormack. 1 down. Right over the flag. Well, you can hardly see 2 better pitches than those. So now, Jack McCormack, 1 down. Wants very hard to sink this putt. Oh, he's done it. Well, now, that's saying it very clearly to Gus Carlin. That's a stay in front. Fine tee shot. Oh, he's missed it. They're back. Level after 7 holes. And they come to this 8th hole, the longest hole in the course at the maximum distance for pitch and putt of 70 meters. Jack McCormack on the tee. His dike at the 7th hole, giving him the honor. He's all square with Gus Carlin. Really gave that as much as he could. It seemed to go fly a bit from him. Call of 4, and he may have some problems. 33-year-old Gus Carlin. Seemed to judge that well, and he did too. See how much backspin they can get on the ball when it hits the green, spun way back. Right then, Jack McCormack with this little chip. And so vital for him. Oh, he's played it magnificently. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, superb shot, really. Superb chip.
And now Gus Carlin with a putt to take the lead. just a little awkward insofar as he's just off the putting surface fractionally. But he's using his putter. Right on line, just didn't give it enough. And they'll go to the 9th, all square. Well, of course, if it stays level after this, they'll go on to the sudden death. Jack McCormack on the 9th tee. And that's a good shot, just a little much, but gives him a chance of his dag. Gus Carolan. Now, has he judged that satisfactorily? Oh. Almost a hole-in-one. Gus Carolan, that looks like a winning shot. A fantastic shot from Gus Carolan on the 9th in this first round match in the Talbot Classic. There he is on the left, almost in the hole. And Jack McCormack really now has a lot to do to stay in this Talbot Classic. Well, what a shot that was from Gus Carolan. There he is on the right, and I'm sure Jack McCormack will tell him you don't have to putt that. There he does. He concedes the putt to Gus Carolan, and that means first round match in the Talbot Classic between Jack McCormack and Gus Carolan will be decided by this putt from just off the green. Jack must sink it to keep his hopes alive and bring the match into sudden death playoff. If it fails, well then Gus Carolan goes through to round 2. Jack McCormack's vital putt. Well, he charged it, he missed it. He congratulates Gus Carolan. Jack McCormack is out of the Talbot Classic, and Gus Carolan goes.
Now, those two matches were very close indeed, and the semi-final promises to be just the same. We joined the semi-final at the start with the commentators Fred Cogley and Peg Smith.
So the stage set for the first semi-final of our Pitch and Putt Classic, and Sean Breen against Gus Carolan. Large crowd gathering, the sun shining, and Sean Breen on the first tee. 37 metres. Gently punched and right at the stick and curling back almost into it. Well, he'll be satisfied and delighted with that. And local man, Gus Carolan. Say, well, that's not a very friendly opener. Well, that's an impressive start, isn't it? Well, there's a good shot of the crowds that have come for this Talbot Classic. Having negotiated those formidable bunkers satisfactorily, it's now Gus Carolan to putt first. And he'll know that it's a putt he's got to sink, really, to be sure of halving this hole, because Sean Breen is so close. Gus, one of the few players who've won both the National Stroke Play and the National Match Play Championships, certainly no stranger to competition or pressure. Well, what about that? Beautifully put in. He's conceded the putt to Sean Breen, and they move to the second hole. Well, a half and 2, and that's their target for this hole. 54 metres. Fairly clear approach, although you've got to get over that bunker. That bunker short of the green is about 10, 15 yards short. And he's hit a beauty. Sean Breen really buzzing. A little bit fortunate maybe as it pitched forward off the bank, but the fact that it's beside the stick is what matters. So, Gus Carolan. To steer it up and past, and it did get the bank, but came back. Disappointment there for Gus. And really, there was only, I suppose, a yard in the difference between where the ball's pitched. And Sean Breen's pitched forward. Gus caught the up face of the slope and came back. So, another difficult moment for Gus Carolan. He certainly had no doubts about that putt on the first hole. Rattled it right into the cup. Now, what can he do with this? A little bit of a man there to get it up over, then hold it on the green. Runs it up at the flag. Good effort. Not quite good enough. These players really do get on with it, don't they? They straight in. 2 looks of the hole, then the putter. Goes through and the ball's in the hole. Now, Sean Breen, this to go 1 up. Sean from the Drogheda Sea Point Club plays off +1. He's been at this game for about 20 years now. Rarely fails to qualify for the national finals. Bit unlucky not to have won a national final, but going great guns in this classic series. And there he is with his 2 winning that second hole and going 1 up. So to the third hole, and again the green very well protected, 50 meters away from the tee. And you can see what I mean by protection. That man just short of the green, bunker on the right, and the players waiting for the gallery to surround the green. And public relations officer for the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland, Peg Smith's with me in the commentary position, and certainly Sean Breen, who hasn't won a national title, looks to be going pretty well in this semi-final.
Oh, he's playing superb stuff. Let's hope he keeps it up. He's a very, very, very challenging opponent in Gus Carolan.
He certainly can't relax, but here he is going on the third hole with a 1-hole lead. Beautiful shot, but just a little far. It seemed to pitch right over the flag and went on a bit. Maybe a bit unlucky not to get the stop on it that he wanted. Gus Carolan. Number of national titles to his credit. That's launched right at the flag. Oh, great effort. Well, you won't see better tee shots than those. But Peg, we were talking there about Sean Breen and the fact that he hasn't really, although he's been there or thereabouts for 20 years, not winning a national title, It's remarkable how you can be so close and yet not lucky enough to make it.
Yes, it's amazing. Within the game, we all feel that Sean is deserving of a national title, but things never seem to go right for him in the very, very final stages, you know. But today, he's certainly turning on the pressure, as the lad said.
Indeed, and really going for the flag all the time. And interesting too that, like so many top players in Pitch and Putt, he gives a lot of his time to the administration of the game, and certainly it's helped his club. He's been chairman of his club for the past 10 years, and he's also taken on the responsibilities of club coach. Using the loft of club to chip this one, and he'll be hoping to get it in. Just a little more, Sean, and it was in the hole. Gus Carlin from the local club here in Roadstone to square the match.
Yes.
And so it's all square, going to the fourth. Gus Carlin on the fourth. And there's no man who knows this particular fourth better than Gus. Local member gets his tee shot onto the green. Sean Breen now. And that's another good shot, just off the green. And a memorable day for all concerned, and if that gentleman would just move a little bit to our left, we could see one person who perhaps will remember this day more than anyone else. Well, whatever about the delightful costumes and dresses that some of the spectators are wearing for other reasons other than watching Pitch and Putt. Two players in shot, Gus Carlin and Sean Breen, are concentrating on a place in Talbot Classic final. Sean Breen just off this fourth green, and he has that favourite niblick of his. And where other people might be inclined to use a putter, just off the green, watch him chip this one. There she goes, into the hole, and that's why that's his favourite niblick. Beautiful little chip. And Gus Carlin, however well he knows this course, has this to stay level. Yes, we are seeing some pitch and putt play at the moment.
Sure are, Fred. There's no stopping these lads when they get started.
Well, it's been all twos, hasn't it, really? And a buzz of excitement from the gallery as they go to the fifth hole, all square. This hole, 49 meters. And if you're shooting level par at this, in this company, you just don't get a look in. talking about the lofted clubs that these players use. I noticed that Sean uses a niblick. I'm not too sure about Gus Carlin.
Gus Carlin plays a Jesse Valentine. It's a 10 iron.
Well, it's working very well for him. It's much more lofted, I think, than the niblick, but it's not so much what you use as how you use it.
That's exactly right, Fred. They get so much cut on their tee shots.
You know, I think that hit the flag.
It did, Fred. See, that's the unfortunate thing about it. When they get so much cut on the ball, it veers away from the hole. It can be a disadvantage too.
Sean Breen. Oh, good shot. Well, I think we can just sit back and admire these two because they're turning it on in style. And aren't they enjoying it? Really is quite remarkable. We saw there Gus Carlin hitting the flag, bouncing out of the hole, as it were, and then Sean Breen covering the flag all the way. And looks as if this could be halved in twos again.
It does indeed, Fred. It's turning into a putting contest.
Remarkable accuracy and judgment and touch about these players, not only off the tee but around the green as well. We saw there the last hole, Sean Breen just delicately chipping into the hole. Tremendous touch.
Years of experience I'd put that down to, and practice. And both of those players, I mean, the majority of them really participating here the weekend, they give so much back to the game. It's a wonder that they have so much time to be so perfect.
Well, there you are. It does take time, doesn't it? It's true of any game, any sport. You get to the top, you get back what you put in, as it were.
So they say.
Well, now, level pegging after 4 holes, 4 spectacular holes in the semi-final. Gus Carlin makes it another 2. It really is something. And now, can Sean Breen follow him in? The hole must have looked a lot smaller since Gus's putt went in. Bang!
It wasn't made too small.
Well, that ducked in like a frightened rabbit. It just went straight into that hole. It's something special, isn't it? Just going back over the holes played. We've had 5 holes played, and only in 1 hole has the winning ball been a 3. Or the better ball, I should say. That was a half. All the others have been in 2. So we've had 4 2s and a 3. So, hole number 6, 37 meters. It's all square. What thrills are in store here? Another 2 coming up.
I wonder, is there room inside that one now for Sean?
If there is, he's the man to find it. Oops. Well, it's hard to keep it up. It really is. He was being that little bit careful.
A little too careful, really, Fred. He cut the pitch a bit short, you know. He's trying to just loft it over the bunker.
And he's paid the price,
He has indeed.
because with Gus Carlin in the putting form he's been in, I reckon that Sean Breen has to sink this bunker shot to be sure of a half of this hole. So a good shot here of bunker play. Oh, beautifully out.
Excellent chance.
So Gus Carlin has that putt to go one up. In a semi-final that I think has shown all the skills of pitch and putt. We've had magnificent bunker shots, as we've seen there. We've had some marvellous chipping, beautiful pitching, and really positive putting. Like that. Just left and wide of the hole. Disappointed, because that was a hole he might have expected to win. The putt is conceded, and Gus is asking Sean to take his. Well, it's the sort of putt, I suppose, Peg, that he might well worry about. Psychological moment for Gus to ask him to take it, having been in the bunker.
Yes, well, this type of putt can be very pressurising, particularly for Sean. He's been playing so well, or even Gus if he had to take it. The pressure is on him now. He must have this hole, because it's a very, very competitive match. Well done, Sean.
So it's still all square, and we move to the 7th hole of this semi-final of the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic at the Roadstone course, on a day when conditions have been quite soft, but the sun has shone and managed to make it very pleasant for the spectators and for the players, and they have responded with some magnificent play. None better than these two in this semi-final. Gus Carlin on the tee against Sean Breen. As you see, 53 metres. And there's the target. And that mound in front is quite a tall one. But a mound at the back as well. So that's what they're aiming for. Is that on the flag? It went over it and spins back. Just gave it a little too much. The draw demand. Well on the green. Good shot. Well, there's been so little between these two that it's very difficult to see where the decision will be made as to which will go into the final. Just a slight lapse of concentration on the part of either player, and that could be enough to decide the issue. Again, we have Gus going for that lofted club, the Jesse Valentine 10. And we saw a few holes back Sean Breen just chipping it nicely into the hole. So we'll see how Gus can do. Again, stops within comfortable distance of the hole. It's just slightly offline there. Here's Sean Breen's chance with his putter. Well, word has obviously spread around the general vicinity of the Roadstone Club, and more people are joining the gallery to watch this really thrilling semi-final. Oh, it was a good putt, slightly offline. And that's another half and 3. Still all square, going to the long 8. Longest hole on the course. And while we have been seeing many shots going down in 2, which would be normally described in golf terms as birdies, but the old golf term, dike, is used in pitch and putt. Gus Carlin then, who must know this particular hole like the back of his hand. No excuses for him if this one isn't on the green. And I'm glad he can't hear that, because he'd obviously feel undue pressure being applied. What's he done? He's no better person. Beautiful shot. And Sean Breen. Sean, who was a cyclist some years ago, needs to get up on that bike and match Gus's shot at this hole, and he very nearly did. Lucky to see it spin back. Two very good tee shots there.
2 excellent tee shots, Fred, and the right side of the hole too for the putting.
What a good gallery. Have surrounded the green there, and they really must be enjoying it.
I'd say each and every one of them are playing that match.
Well, it must have been very difficult on the tee there for Sean Breen on the right, having seen Gus's pitch go so close to the flag. Sean Breen won the first round match against Joe Fitzgerald in a really thrilling contest. Won it at the 9th, 1 up. Gus Carlin, by the way, in his first round match also had a thriller. He beat Jack McCormack, also going to the last hole. So we're back to putting, and which of the two is going to make an error, if either. The 8th hole, this and the 9th to play before we're into sudden death. So no time for rushing. Sean Breen. This for a dyke. Uphill, good putt. And local hero Gus Carlin has a chance to go in front with one hole to play. Oh yes, Gus Carlin is in front. Fine putt. The chance created by a beautiful tee shot at that, the longest hole in this particular championship. Well, there's the charge is on for the 9th and final green. And it has been quite a fascinating semi-final with so much good play, and we've had so many dikes it's hard to credit. 5 under par, better ball. And Gus Carlin doesn't want to make any mistake here. His chance of place in the final really depending on this tee shot. One up. He's gone for the flag and he's found the green. Good shot. And now for Sean Breen, his only chance of bringing this to a playoff depends on him putting this into the hole or right up against that stick. On its way, and not onto the green. Disappointment for Sean Breen, because that was one he wanted so close to the flag, instead of which he's now got problems in the bunker. And certainly he's put up a tremendous display, and we saw a fine bunker shot from him earlier on, so this isn't quite over yet, because this shot can go into the hole and we could still have a sudden death playoff. So Sean Breen, one down, playing this last hole. Oh, that's a magnificent shot.
Marvellous effort.
But one suspects that Gus Carlin just has to stand up to be in the final. One up. He has 2 putts for a half, and that's all he needs. But it really has been a memorable semi-final, coming up to the final hole. And it looks as if Gus wants to finish it with a flourish.
Close enough.
Very close, but that's it. He's congratulated by Sean.
The men's side, and this week we're going to see who he's going to meet in the final. Well, our first quarter-final is between 2 experienced players, Mick Forrest from Carrigaline in County Cork and Andy Dempsey of Irish Ropes in Newbridge in County Kildare. As we join the match, Mick Forrest is 1 up and the players on the 4th tee. Your commentators Fred Cogley and Peg Smith.
Thank you very much. So they go to the 4th tee, this elevated tee at the Roadstone course. 59 metres downhill, very interesting and picturesque course indeed, and this the high point, quite literally, of the course here in in Belgard in County Dublin. And considering the conditions, they were talking there about how soft the course is. I think it's fair to say that in spite of the dreadfully heavy rain that the course has had to absorb, those in charge of the course, Peter Byrne, the groundsman, and Frank McInerney, have really done a tremendous job. And the secretary of the Roadstone Group Club, Seamus Gaffney, was mentioning that they really have been working hard for the organisation for this Talbot Classic. And now with the players on the fourth tee, we look at quite a large gallery for this first round match. The winners into the semi-finals. And remember, we have Mick Forrest in front after 3 holes by 1 up. Mick Forrest from Carrigaline, there he is in the darker sweater going up onto this tee. And it's interesting, as you climb up onto that tee, the 4th hole falls away from you, and gallery there surrounding it, and we just see a section of them. Difficult hole to hold. Test of skill. But when you're leading 1 up so early on, certainly good for your confidence. Right then, Mick Forrest to go. 59 meters. 1 up. Plenty of height. And now he stopped it beautifully. And see that spin back? Very good shot from the man in front. Andy Dempsey. Won the first hole, but has seen Mick coming back at him. The hurling grip that he uses, having been a hurler in Kildare. Up she goes, the lofted shot, and another good one. Really are matching each other shot for shot, these two, playing some fine stuff. PRO for the Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland, Peg Smith in the commentary position. I'm sure delighted, Peg, that the weather is holding up so well for this particular classic.
Indeed I am, Fred. I'm sure it'll make an awful difference for the spectators as well as the players, and bring more of them out. You've referred a couple of times to Andy Dempsey's grip. We have an awful lot of players in Pitch and Putt that use that hurling grip, actually. But they use it very effectively, as you can see.
Indeed. And again, it's worth mentioning that the players in Pitch and Putt are limited to only 2 clubs. The one obviously has to be a putter, and the other club, a lofted club, can be anything, I suppose, from an 8 to a wedge.
Yes, 8, 9 or a 10 iron, but both of the competitors now that we're watching are both using the old type niblick.
Which is a number 8
an
only.
An 8 iron.
Not quite the number 8 that one normally finds in the modern set of clubs.
Very hard to come by these days.
Well, both of those shots absolutely perfect, onto difficult green to hold, and Mick Forrest to putt first. And that's another sort of putter you don't see often nowadays, the old hickory shafted putter. Tried and trusted, I'd say. That's seen a lot of putts in its
I'd say it has. And Michael can use it very effectively.
Oh. Gave it just a little too much then. And Andy Dempsey just a little inside Mick Forrest. Plays off 2 from the Irish Ropes Club in Newbridge. Using that hurling grip. And he's done it. And we're level again. It really is a seesaw match, this one. And so they move on to the 5th hole. And I can tell you, Very few of that gallery are going to move back to the clubhouse just yet. 49 metres this one, also coming downhill and difficult for the players to hold. But they have to get those spectators to clear the way. And as you see, that bunker short of the green, really demanding that the players get the ball high, but they've got to hold the green because the grassy mound at the back can cause problems. So we're all square after 4 holes. Up it's pitched, and there it is, front side of the green. McForest, more orthodox grip. Again punched, spectators craning as it comes down onto the green. So, both players giving it everything they have, looking for a place in the semi-finals of this Pitch and Putt Classic at the Roadstone course. Andy Dempsey and his opponent McForest almost level there, but McForest the one who didn't quite make the green. Now you have a chance of seeing these delicate little chip shots that they like to play, but it seems that Mick has gone for his putter this time. Gallery includes some of the younger fans. What can they learn from this? Oh, well, you learn to attack the hole, but he's left himself just a little more to do than he would like. And we saw at the previous hole Andy Dempsey taking advantage by sinking a fine putt, and here he is with another chance. This to go 1 up. Quite a competitor is Andy Dempsey. Oh, he had a look at the line, saw it, but didn't quite give it enough, didn't allow enough for it on the left. And that means that McForest has to get this, of course, too. So McForest. Goes off just to collect his thoughts, and wait for the gallery to move down to surround this 7th green. 53 meters away from the tee. And quite slippy, as you can see. And of course, pitch and putt is a form of miniature golf, and it was started during the early war years to compensate for golfers not being able to travel out to golf courses. And of course, it's taken off tremendously in recent years. It's become very, very popular, and in all, in Ireland, there are 15,000 players and over 150 clubs in the 32 counties. Now, Andy Dempsey, 1 up on the 7th tee. 3 holes to play for a place in the semi-final. And he was a little tentative there, little short. Gives McForest the opportunity to strike back. And I should imagine that Mick Forrest is not going to be short here. Can't afford to be. He's got to get up to that flag and maybe try and spin it back. That's on its way. And he didn't. He went straight for the flag, tried to spin it back. He's played a good one. He certainly didn't hang back on that. Good attacking shot from Mick Forrest, and a chance for him to get back to all square. Oh, he's pleased with it. Well, Mick Forrest, as we were saying earlier on, in international, he's got 3 in pitch and putt. And, of course, a well-known athlete in Cork athletic circles, won the Cork County Championships at 200, 400 and 800 metres, as well as being a javelin champion as well. But now, the man who's in front in this match, Andy Dempsey. A tricky little one. Using that niblick to pop it up and squirt it towards the hole. And he was not going to leave this one short, I should say. There's the squirter. Good effort. Great shot. I've seen so many of those little chip shots from just off the green, and if they don't go into the hole, they're as good as dead. They really are. And there are, I know, many thousands of golfers around the country who'd be very glad to be able to chip as well as these chaps. So Mick Forrest with this to level the match after his 7 holes. And this a vital one, and he knows it. Yes. Oh, a touch of the competitive edge there as he picked that one out and said, let's get to the next tee. 70 metres, the longest tee, longest hole in the course, the longest hole permissible in pitch and putt. 70 metres, 8th hole, and they're all square. In the gallery there, Mildred Murray, one of the competitors in the Ladies Classic. And obviously Mildred enjoying this tremendous tussle in the Men's Classic. All square on the 8th, Mick Forrest and Andy Dempsey. Mick Forrest on the tee, 70 metres. Again, the punch shot uphill. And it was right on the pin, but it came a little short, spun back. He'll be a bit disappointed with that. Andy Dempsey. Nice follow through in contrast to Michael Forrest's, and he too doesn't quite get the backspin on it and holds the green, so he has a chance. The putt, Mick Forrest has to chip it into the hole, and don't think that that is impossible. We've seen a lot of them getting so close to the hole from those chips. Well, Andy Dempsey there with the advantage on this hole. Married man in Newbridge, married with 9 children, and I'm sure all the children will be cheering him on in this quarter-final match. Mick Forrest, meanwhile, comes up to assess the problems facing him. I think he thought, how could I be off the green? Which is my ball? Well, his is the one spun back. Interesting to look over his record in the Cork leagues. He's won no less than 8 medals, and he's the holder of the Limerick Masters title. He plays regularly in various scratch cups and club opens all around the country. And incidentally, in just 10 years ago, in the RTE Interprovincial Mixed Foursomes, which was televised in 1973, he won with Claire Keating of Woodvale the Mixed Foursomes competition. Mick Forrest using the putter. Oh, very good effort, but it stopped dead on him, short of the hole. I think, in fairness, it was probably offline anyway. And Andy Dempsey concedes the putt, and so Andy has this uphill putt for his 2 to go 1 up. 1 up with 1 to play, and he's going to think about it. Newbridge player has thought about the line. This for a very important lead. Oh, never offline, always into the hole. Andy Dempsey is 1 up with 1 to play. Well, now Peg Smith looking at the 9th hole, 61 metres. I'd say that Mick Forrest will really be going for it. He's really got to, isn't he?
He really has to go for this one, all right, Fred. Unfortunately, his last tee shot was a superb tee shot. I suppose you could say it was too good. There was so much backspin on it, it took him off the green.
Yes, he was a bit unlucky that it should have come back so quickly on him. But against a man like Andy Dempsey, I suppose you just cannot leave any chance for him. He's in like a flash, and now he's in the lead.
They're both very competitive, and then Andy is a very, he's really a superb putter.
Well, now this hole, 61 metres, well protected. And if anything, I suppose, probably the safest line is over that bunker on the right-hand side of our picture, down the left-hand side. A little bit of space there, which one could avoid trouble, and then you can just chip into the hole. But if you're 1 down, you've got to go for it. So it'll be interesting to see which line Andy Dempsey here, 1 up, takes. And a little bit of a disappointment then for Andy Dempsey. An opportunity perhaps for Mick Forrest. Mick Forrest, 1 down. Wide stance, the punch shot, as he avoided trouble. Yes, again the backspin brings him close to the putting, just off the putting surface. He's there, and we could have a playoff in this quarter-final. All depends on how well Andy Dempsey recovers. He's 1 up, but didn't get that tee shot onto the green where he wanted it. And which of these two will go into the semi-finals, still not decided. Already through, Sean Breen and Gus Carolan, both of whom won their first round matches. Well, Andy Dempsey has a look, and he knows, everybody knows, he's got to get this one out and onto the green to have any chance. tentative. And disappointment there. He's on in 3. And he's conceded. So it's all square after 9. And Mick Forrest and Andy Dempsey go to the first sudden death tie hole. Sudden death playoff then in this first round tie. Mick Forrest on the tee against Andy Dempsey. This for a place in the semi-finals, and that's a super shot from Mick Forrest. This hole, 37 meters. Now, Andy Dempsey leading at the 9th tee, and then finding a bunker and losing the hole. In trouble, but he's come off the bank and raced a little bit to the back of the green. So he's further away from the hole, and on this first tie hole then for a place in the semi-final of the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic, Mick Forrest from Cork with the advantage. Well, certainly the fortunes fluctuating and chopping and changing, adding a great deal of excitement to the large gallery of supporters that have come here to the Roadstone Club. And Mick Forrest's ball there, I'm sure he would have wanted to have spun back as others have done. If it had bitten, he would have perhaps even ended up in the hole. Fine shot from him, Andy Dempsey, perhaps a bit lucky to have ended up as he did, because the ball did hit the bank short of the green. But what important putts these are. Places in the semi-final at stake. Oh yes, he had a sigh of relief then as it went in the side door, and now the pressure on Mick Forrest. Down he goes. Wants magic from that hickory shafted putter. Looks good, but it's just by the hole. Disappointment, and a quick congratulations from Mick Forrest to Andy Dempsey, who's now into the semi-finals along with Sean Breen and Gus Carolan.
So an exciting win for Andy Dempsey in a good game. Rusk from Royal Meath or Donny Long from the St Anne's Club. Well, we join this quarter-final at the 4th hole. Donny Long to play first, and he's one up. And your commentators again are Fred Cogley and Peg Smith.
Adding just a nice feature to this Roadstone course. So Donny Long with that one-hole advantage. What a smashing shot. Well, that should consolidate his position. Difficult for Tommy Rusk to match that. And as Tommy Rusk tees up here, he must think that that ball is leaning up against the stick. Tommy using a wedge. Getting it very high and not finding the green. Just off the green there. And that will be a long way for him, because he's got to chip into the hole from there to halve it and remain one down. And Tommy Rusk could do himself a lot of good if he can manage somehow to nudge this into the hole. Well, there's no doubt about it. As far as he's concerned, he can't see it going anywhere else.
Oh no, because he's that type of a player. Oh.
Very good try. Very good try indeed. And Donny Long is now 2 up as we go to the 5th hole. Nice, fluent, smooth swinger. Has he given it quite enough? Yes, he has. Well, if he keeps going the way he's going to get one of those in. There's no doubt about it. Tommy Rusk must be wondering what he is to do to get the better of Donny Long. Also swings this wedge very smoothly. Nice follow through. And a very good shot indeed. Covering the flag. 2 down at the moment. And he can't really afford this 5th hole to let another slip. Oh, a very brave effort, but not quite good enough. And this could put him 3 down after 5. And really he's been playing very well, but hard to stop a man in such good form as Donny Long. Well holed, Donny Long goes 3 up with 4 to play. Well, he's gone close to the flag in the last 2 holes. Maybe this one will go in. Donny Long, 3 up. Here's Donny now. Right at the flag. And he wasn't taking any chances there. Safely on the green. Tommy Rusk must feel as if he's been really caught in a whirlwind. That was a good shot. Did it get up? Not quite. Well, he really hasn't played at all badly, and yet he's 3 down, and that really speaks volumes to the way Donny Long has been playing. But that was perhaps his weakest shot, and he really should have been attacking the flag. It's all he can do, and he let that one just flop a little short. A very picturesque course is this Roadstone course at Belgard district of County Dublin, close to the Newlands golf course. Well, now this is so important for Tommy Rusk. He wants this in the hole, really, to be sure of keeping this match alive. And he has really found himself in a really hot one against Tony Long. Nicely chipped. He went for it. Great effort. And so, Tony Long from the St. Anne's Club in Cork. If he sinks this, he wins by 4-3 and goes into the semi-final. Yes, he's done it. Tony Long is our winner, the first winner in the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic, out the course, as it were, beating Tommy Rusk 4-3. And so he's our fourth semi-finalist, joining Sean Breen, Gus Carolan, and meeting Andy Dempsey in the second semi-final. A very impressive winner, Tony Long from St. Anne's in Cork.
Your commentators, again, are Fred Cogley and Peg Smith, and let's watch it.
All in readiness for the second semi-final of the Talbot Men's Pitch and Putt Classic. Andy Dempsey against Tony Long. Andy Dempsey safely on the green. Fine opener. Now Tony Long. From St. Anne's in Cork. Very good winner by 4-3 in the last round against Tommy Rusk. The first hole, 37 meters. And he's also found the green beautifully. Two fine shots from these two players. Well, Andy Dempsey has been with the Newbridge Club since 1966. Tony Long. This for his dike. Oops, he attacked it a little too strongly. He was just carrying too much power, really, to drop into the hole. And so Andy Dempsey has a chance of taking a lead at the first hole. May look somewhat awkward to the people more used to seeing the orthodox grip. Can be very effective, just like that. Andy Dempsey, one up, going to the second hole. Andy Dempsey, one up then, playing to the second. Comes in nicely and should get some spin back. There it is, and there it's spinning back to the hole. Perfect weight on those shots. Tony Long, Irish Intermediate title holder as far back as 1972. And that too is a good shot, right over the flag, covering the flag all the way. For this man, Andy Dempsey, one up, and a putt for a dike at the second. Oh, he bottles those, doesn't he? Certainly no holding back on them, and they're not lagged up, they're hit right into the back of the hole. So now, this to hold the situation at one down. First grip again. And it slipped by. So we have Andy Dempsey going into a 2-up lead, winning those first 2 holes with 2 twos. And Donny Long, not altogether sure of what he stepped into. Really has found Andy Dempsey at the top of his form. Andy Dempsey, of course, is chairman of the Irish Ropes Club in 1980, but he's also been development officer for the Kildare board of the Pitch and Putt Union. This 50 meters, 3rd hole. Already 2 up in this semi-final. And that's a beauty too. He's in good form. And Donny Long knows it, and he must know that he has to attack for all he's worth. That's a good shot too, isn't it? Well, the difference between these two so far has been on the greens. Andy Dempsey's 2 putts have gone in, and Donny Long has required 2 putts on each green. And that's how he's 2 down. But certainly conditions at the Roadstone course here absolutely first class, and groundsman Peter Byrne must be very happy that with Frank McInerney they have made the right plans and preparations. They've stood up to the wear and tear very well. Course in great order for this Talbot Classic. Don't be surprised if Andy, who's been rattling them in, gives this a fair good rap, and she'll dive into that hole if she's online. Oh, well, the one that he left short. So now Donny Long, this to get closer. Oh, he left it short and waits, and yes, it is conceded. So they have the hole, and that's one he'll be disappointed with, because whatever, he shouldn't have been short. So Andy Dempsey is 2 up as they go to the 4th. So the 4th hole, 59 meters. The elevated tee. Peg Smith, the PRO for Pitch and Putt Union of Ireland, watching this one with great interest. Interesting hole, isn't it, Peg?
This is a very interesting shot, yes, the 59 meters, and a very difficult one to hold, because you're pitching from such a great height, coming down to a sloping green.
And Andy Dempsey, how well has he judged it?
Perfectly.
To within an inch, isn't it, almost? Great
perfect
shot. He's 2 up, looking good. Now Donny Long. Fighting for a place in the final. 2 down, and he's got his problems. As good and all as that is, look how close Andy Dempsey is. So, Joni Long with just fractionally off the putting surface, but I reckon it'll be the putter he'll use. And if ever he needed a longish putt, he needs it now. Bravely struck, and
Marvellous effort.
how unlucky. Marvellous effort, as you say, Peg. And Andy needs this to go 3 up after 4 holes.
Well, Donny will definitely have a very hard match on his hands if Andy holds out this putt.
Yeah. Well, it had a look in from different sides, and he's 3 up going to the 5th. Tremendously strong. And this man, Andy Dempsey, one of the best. Hole 5, 49 meters downhill. Little cautious, perhaps a little lucky, but he's just that chipping distance away. Well, Donny Long has really got to go for it, even if the green is tending to fall away from him. Now, did he get it enough? Yes. So, with a lead of 3 up after 4 holes, Andy Dempsey looks well set for a place in the Classic final against Gus Carlin. But as in any sport, nothing is certain, and Donny Long just needs...
What did he do? Supposedly he stole a test from Mr. Russo. I find it very odd. You got an A and the guy who tutored you had to cheat? Just what are you getting at? Winston...
shot. And Andy Dempsey didn't get hold of it as we've seen him do before. And now can his opponent, Donny Long, take advantage of that? Yes.
Great putt.
So there's only 2 in it now as we go to the 6th hole. And how important that particular putt could have been.
Most important putt for Donny. Might bring him back into the game now.
So this 6th hole, just 37 meters. And the only problem to contend with, apart from 1 or 2 stray spectators, is that bunker right in front of the green. So the dike gives Donny Long the honour. And satisfactorily has he done it. Good shot. Andy Dempsey, 2 up, 6th hole. Oh, that's a good one. That's a real clincher, that one.
Superb tee shot. He's not going to be out on this hole.
Indeed not. Tony Long, very keen music, his hobby, and enjoys watching all forms of sport, but obviously enjoys participating at championship level in pitch and putt. Now here's a putt that's very, very crucial to him. It was the right pace, but never really quite on line. And Andy Dempsey has this to go, Dormy 3. Fine tee shot over the 37 meters. Oh, well, it just proves that no matter how secure one may feel, you can't take anything for granted. So he remains 2 up in a comfortable position, coming to the 7th hole. And Donny Long, 2 down, breathes a sigh of relief. Semi-final might well have slipped away from him absolutely there, but he's still in with a slight chance. But I'm sure many of our viewers watching this Pitch and Putt Classic series will be seeing Pitch and Putt maybe for the first time and must realize what an attractive game it is. And certainly not as cumbersome or time-consuming as golf, and yet requiring great delicacy and touch. Long shot is good. Andy Dempsey, 2 up, 3 holes to play. Doesn't want to make a mistake at this stage. And he's safely on, no mistake. Just leaves the door tantalizingly ajar for Donny Long to get his dike there and narrow the gap even more, but it's only ajar, it's certainly not wide open. But as they come down, and we were talking there about how attractive pitch and putt must be to many people who may not have seen it, how many clubs are there around? There's over 150. And are they open to people who would be interested, or is there any age limit or anything at either end peg?
Juveniles to be taken into most clubs on application from the age of 10, which entitles them to play in all the championships and national and provincial and county championships. Most clubs, I'd say down country in particular, would have openings for members.
And clubs are not necessarily attached to business firms. They're not social clubs of the business firms. They are open to the general public, are they?
Oh yes, some of them are. Roadstone here now, for instance, that's connected with the firm, but they have, as well as having the workers involved, they also have associate members.
And with 15,000 affiliated members around the country, as you were saying earlier on, plenty of scope for competition at all levels,
Oh, yes, indeed, Fred.
even if this is a little bit beyond most players because it's so good. Andy Dempsey then, 2 up. And that will be a safe 3. A little tentative perhaps. It's conceded, and so Donny Long has this chance to reduce the gap once more.
Donny, he'll have to take this chance. That's twice now that Andy is after leaving the door open for him, so he'll have to avail of the opportunity now.
He's 2 down at the moment. And he's 1 down now. And we have 2 holes to play, so something of a comeback from Donny Long. And so to the 8th hole, 70 meters, the longest allowed in pitch and putt. And a determined stride from Donny Long indicates that he now means business. And what a comeback it would be if he could square this one and leave it up to the 9th. He really has come back very well.
He has indeed, Fred. He found it very difficult to settle down to his game.
Well, early on it was his putting that let him down, while Andy was building up a lead with some very good putts on the first 2 holes. But now Andy's putting not as sure, and suddenly Donny Long is snapping at his heels.
That's true.
That's the target, and there's the player, Donny Long, in the background. That's a nice fluent shot, and he's there or thereabouts.
Very good pitch, very good.
And now, Andy Dempsey from Newbridge. On its way, and it's a good one. Oh, the reply of a champion.
Very true.
So 1 up. Andy Dempsey can clinch his place in the final with that putt, should Donny Long fail with his. Well, we've really seen some fine play in this Talbot Classic, but said of Andy Dempsey that he's one of the game's greatest competitors. He travels far and wide every week to play, and at various times he's held 8 course records. He's equaled 6. He's had the experience of winning a 36-hole competition in Kilbeggan by 1 stroke after having had a hole-in-one on the 18th each time. So as far as Andy Dempsey is concerned, his reputation as a keen competitor is well earned. Donny Long, meanwhile, knows that this putt is a must. Vital putt for Donny Long of the St. Anne's Club in Cork. Yes, beautifully played. A lot of pressure, and he stood up well. And he's certain now to bring this to the final hole. Andy Dempsey, this to hold on to his 1-hole advantage going to the last.
Well hold.
It went in the side door. He can afford that sigh of relief. But Andy Dempsey leads by 1 hole as we go to the final hole in the semi-final. The 9th hole, 61 meters. And this one fraught with difficulties. The bunkers around the green, all around the green in fact, and then those trees on the right of our picture, tantalizingly close to the players if they choose to go down the left-hand side of this hole. Well, there's quite a race for vantage points. Oh, what a fight back this man Donny Long has made in the semi-final. What has he done?
Excellent tee shot.
He's really put it up to Andy Dempsey. Really getting going now. But is it too late? Well, Andy Dempsey from Newbridge, 1 up. Must put this close now. Coming into the green. Oh.
That's the answer.
Well, this man who won that 36-hole competition in Kilbeggan by having a hole-in-one at the finishing hole in each round, Andy Dempsey very nearly did it again there to clinch his place in the final of the Talbot Classic. Oh, a great competition this. And these two players, you couldn't ask for anything closer than that. Donny Long really piling on the pressure, and Andy Dempsey acknowledging the applause for a wonderful tee shot in response. What a fine pitch. And it's conceded by Donny Long. He doesn't ask Andy Dempsey to do any more. Andy Dempsey wins then, 1 up, and he's into the final of the Talbot Pitch and Putt Classic. Andy Dempsey from Newbridge will meet Gus Carolan in the final.
And you can see the final of the Talbot Classic at 3:10 next Saturday. Let's review now the headlines of the day. And in soccer, there were 37 goals scored in the English